it takes a real man to do what Sanji did in this chapter, alright? Like, yo, I've been in situations like that. I'm not gonna lie. Even though, from the perspective, it depends on exactly what you're seeing. But what I'm getting at is, when Pudding lifted the veil, and she was immediately expecting Sanji to look at her and be like, ew, what the fuck? Because she had that third eye. Sanji wasn't like the rest of them. Another motherfucker would have been like, gross, nasty. Yo, put that shit away. Yo, I'm gonna stick my dick in that just to cover it. That's what another motherfucker would have did. But not our boy. Not Sanji. Sanji, nah. He didn't flinch. He didn't find it nasty. He didn't find it gross. That shows Sanji's character. And what this chapter, and the entire series as a whole, the entirety of it, but what this chapter and this arc has really brought forth in Sanji's character. He's a lover of women. He treats women with respect. He's a good man. And I love that about Sanji, and that's how he flipped everything. Now, there was a little bit of controversy, and I'm going to talk about it real quick. There's some people saying that Oda switched up Pudding's character because she just shot up in popularity. I certainly don't think that's the case, because there's been constant, I guess, conflict within Pudding. Even though, yes, we've seen that disgusting side of her, there's just been little inklings here or there of like, well, I mean, because if you look at people as a whole, now obviously there's some cases where people are just, they're scumbags. There's no rhyme or reason why. They just suck. They're pieces of fucking shit. That's the case. But for most people, they have some sort of good to them. I truly believe that most people do have some good to them. Again, not all. There are people that flat out they're mustache twirling cunts. You know, it is what it is. But there's always been throughout this arc that little question mark of, well, Pudding just seems like a disgusting piece of shit. I hate her. I want fucking her to get gangbanged by some fucking disgusting, disturbed motherfuckers. But then there was always that question mark like, but wait a minute, this seems a little odd, this seems a little off. In this chapter, we got her backstory, and we found out exactly what brought her to that point of kind of just being insane. She was picked on as a kid, but the level of being picked on for her was a little bit different than some people, because she was constantly made fun of for having the third eye. You know, people say you're gross, you're nasty. Even her own mother, Big Mom, was like, yo, you're kind of creepy, like grow some bangs, cover that shit up. You know, I don't give a fuck who you are in this world. If your own parent told you you're creepy, and because you have something wrong with you, a deformality or just something different on you, hey, cover that shit up, you too would be fucked in the head. And she couldn't take it no more, and that's when she started just killing motherfuckers. Like, you gonna make fun of me? You think you're gonna make fun of me? I'll fuck you up. So we got the backstory and the rhyme and reason as to what brought Pudding to this point of being a psychopath and constantly having that inner monologue of, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna kill him. And Sanji kind of being that first person to really say, yo, there's nothing wrong with you. You're beautiful. Like, that right there, that's some shit out of a fucking movie. I love how Oda did that scene. With that being said, I do gotta say one huge thing, which I personally thought was amazing and shocked the shit out of me. Did anyone notice with reading this One Piece chapter how fast the pacing was? I was shocked. I was like, this isn't One Piece. I thought we was gonna have like 3 more chapters till we get to this point at the very least. I thought we was going to have maybe a little bit of the wedding ceremony, focus a little bit on Luffy, and then maybe we would have ended off with a cliffhanger of Sanji about to say I do, or Pudding about to say I do, as they're gearing up towards, you know, Pudding basically shooting him or something like that. I thought that was going to happen. The pacing, though, in this chapter, it was like, we got a couple of pages in the beginning of Luffy sleeping, which, by the way, Luffy, what are you doing, bro? But it also showcases that he needed it. I mean, the ass whoopings and the battles that he was, you know, going throughout this arc with Cracker and Sanji kicking the fuck out of him and just starving. Like, Luffy been through some shit. He needed the extra sleep, so it made sense. Although, you know, obviously a little bit of comedy in there regarding like, hey, get him some fucking meat. Like, you know, there's some people wave $1. No, just get some nice fried steak or some chicken and just wave it in Luffy's nose, and motherfucker's all good. He's all gravy. He's all ready to go. The scenery for this chapter, just to comment on it real quick as well, got a fucking giant cake, and I knew it was all bad. The moment I saw that giant cake, I was like, something's gonna happen. That cake is gonna explode. Something is gonna happen. And it went into the whole what Luffy was planning on doing. Like, you know, his big surprise. The funny thing that he was gonna do, his entrance into this shit. I'm like, Okay, I didn't expect that. I thought maybe Luffy, well, some people thought that he was going to pop out of the wedding cake. I do remember seeing that theory around. Personally, I didn't really think that. Well, he didn't pop out of the cake. He just fucking ate the whole cake. A giant fucking cake the size of a tower. Luffy just like, oh, I'm starving, bro. Like, I already have my meat. Let me get some dessert. So, I guess in a way it's kind of like funny at the cost of Big Mom, because Big Mom's like, yo, I want to eat that shit, and he's just destroying her livelihood right then and there, eating the entire cake that she was like getting ready to fucking play with herself to. So yeah, Luffy, funny shit at the expense of Big Mom. And my gosh, the motherfucking Vinsmoke, like I ain't gonna lie, just seeing them throughout this chapter, the beginning of the chapter, and they're talking about, man, Sanji's so lucky, and then when shit is getting ready to pop off, and even when shit is popping off, they're still clueless. Like, they were some clueless motherfuckers coming into this, and I'm kind of like, yo, this is why y'all are the way y'all are. Y'all like a homeless nation, so to speak, you know? Like, y'all don't have nowhere to call home because y'all just aren't on top of things. Like, you see shots going off and, you know, you're supposed to be this crazy general and immediately getting on target. You're like, whoa, 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 what's going on? Meanwhile, Reiju knows everything. Like, out of all of this, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, the only two from that whole family, maybe argue three, but mainly just two that I'd say, yeah, I want them to survive. I want them to be, you know, golden. Is obviously our boy Sanji and Reiju. Other than that, and maybe Yonji, because again, I looked at Yonji's character as he's kind of just like a spoiled little idiot that doesn't understand, but he can turn around. There's still time for him. The other two brothers and the father, Papa Vinsmoke, three of them can eat a dick. They could die. I don't give a fuck. But those two, and maybe Yonji, even though, again, Yonji's a piece of shit, but we've seen Sanji lay the smackdown on his ass, so it ain't really a big deal. But those are the ones I feel as though there's still some time, there's still some redemption for them. Now, obviously, Reiju and Yonji have probably done some fucked up things that we don't know about because they're part of the Germa 66, they're part of the Vinsmoke, they're assassins. They've probably done some fucked up things in their time. So, yeah, there's that whole thing in there, but honestly, I still feel as though they would be the only ones that I would want to be saved. Not Papa Vinsmoke and not the other two brothers, because they're just completely heartless and there's no redemption for them. And let's talk about something big in this chapter for our boy Sanji that's going to play very greatly into the grand scheme of things with One Piece. And that's that, I believe what was going on there, his observation Haki that he was using that helped him to guard against Dogtooth's bullet, and then Dogtooth's, you know, premonition or his future vision, his, you know, Haki, his incredible Haki or whatever, he was able to see that he was even going to dodge what the priest was going to do, and the priest is right there. So Sanji right now, when you got Dogtooth throughout the chapter saying, damn, there's nothing I could do, what the fuck, you know his shit is on point. And I was thinking, okay, well, we know Sanji trained, obviously, during the time skip. What would cause that? How would he be able to get that? Well, of course, Ivankov, top tier, whatever. But you got to think, he was pretty much what he describes as in hell. These motherfucking weirdo, crazy motherfuckers attacking him, trying to get at him at all types of hours, and not in, you know, the vicious way. They were just trying to get at him, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had to be one step ahead of them. He had to be quick. He had to be using everything he possibly can. So between the combination of being like in everyday warfare, trying not to get caught or get grabbed on or whatever, and then Ivankov potentially helping him to master that, we're seeing the fruits of Sanji's labor right here, right now. When Dogtooth, one of the top commanders, one of the top fucking kids of Big Mom, is like, I can't do nothing. That gives me great hope and great potential for Sanji for future bouts, future fights, future just of One Piece in general. When we're going against the top tier dogs, if Sanji is making some of the big elites right there, like kind of uneasy and not able to do anything, you know shit is crazy. And I was kind of interested as well. Did anyone catch that? Big Mom obviously is supposed to be like, you know, credible foe, nothing to fuck with. Probably shouldn't worry about anything that comes her way because she's Big Mom, right? Big Yonko, big time dude. Why the fuck did immediately, and I guess you could argue that's his mom or, you know, no, you gotta play defense no matter what, but why the fuck did Dogtooth immediately jump in front of her? Is it because her defenses can be extremely low? Is it because of his premonition? He saw something bad was gonna happen and he saw possibly the missiles coming at her and that's why he jumped in there? Because it seems as though his foresight was kind of smudged a bit in a way, because he kind of felt as though he really couldn't do anything. So he was just kind of doing anything he possibly can to play defense. But still, with Big Mom, that's Big Mom. Like, you know, I mean, I guess, you know, think about it, Whitebeard's kids would jump in the way for him, so maybe you could argue that, but I did find it fascinating a bit to a certain degree. Dogtooth just jumping immediately, like if Big Mom can't withstand anything or something. And now that Luffy is there, it's crazy. If you really think about it, Luffy is right there in front of Big Mom. After that shit that he was talking in Fishman Island when he threatened to beat her ass all over New World, it's time to deliver on that. It's time to deliver it. The fucking setup is here. And honestly, this chapter of One Piece, I felt as though it was a breath of fresh air with the pacing, to just get such incredibly fast but incredibly well done pacing, get through the entire ceremony, get shit popping off, seeing the observation Haki of Sanji, seeing the backstory of Pudding, the turnaround right there, how Sanji just kind of wooed her with actually being a decent human being. You know, sometimes that's all it takes, be a decent human being. Really curious what you guys think about this chapter though. How did you feel, for starters, about the big reveal of Pudding's backstory? Did you care? Did you feel bad for her? I mean, it gave me more clarity and understanding of her character, and it seems as though we're going to get a decent turnaround. The fact that at the very least she'll care for Sanji, because he was the one that kind of didn't give her, you know, the ugly look, the oh, you're nasty. So we're getting a big, you know, turnaround for her character at the very least. Also, what do you think about Dogtooth and his inability to hit Sanji and inability to be effective in this whole squabble right now? Do you think that's Sanji's observation is on a next level, or what's up with that? And your overall thoughts of the chapter? Honestly, I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. Great stuff. Really pleasantly surprised on the pacing again, because I thought this was going to be at least 2 chapters. This was 1, and it was nicely done. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.